In just 1 week, Nebraska will be hosting their biggest recruiting event of the entire year, and absolutely nobody is talking about it. It's not what you think. It's not the official visits. The Huskers will be hosting the biggest 7v7 tournament in America next Saturday, hosting 5-star prospects, 4 stars, and so many more. So in today's video, I'm going to give you the rundown on this camp. What is this 7v7 tournament? What players will be on campus? Why is this so important for the Huskers and Matt Rhule, and everything else you need to know? This is a loaded recruiting update. You're going to want to stick around for the entire thing. Hit that like button if you're fired up. And really quick, it would make my day. If you're a diehard Nebraska fan, you're unsubscribed. What are you waiting for? Join the best family here on Husky YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get into it. Recruiting is really starting to pick up right now going into June. And we know the Huskers are starting to host official visits. Now, that's getting a lot of attention, but there is something that has went completely under the radar that is arguably Nebraska's biggest recruiting event of the entire year. On June 6th, the Huskers will be hosting the biggest 7v7 tournament in America, the Battle of the Boneyard, hosting some of the best prospects in America. A bunch of 5 stars, a bunch of 4 stars, and so many more. So, quick explanation on what this 7v7 tournament is. The best high school recruits who are quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and DBs during the summer, when they're not playing for their high school team, they play 7v7, which is basically a quarterback, a center, and wide receivers who go up and catch passes, right? They just do this. They play with some of the other top prospects in America to continue to develop their skills. It's basically like Legion baseball or like AAU for basketball. That's what this is. And every single top prospect does this around America. Nebraska will be hosting the best 7v7 teams in all of the country. So we have SFE who's coming in. That's a team coming out of Florida. We'll go over the players from that group. You have California Power, has a bunch of 4-star and 5-star prospects in there. You have Miami Raw who will be visiting Nebraska. That is a huge group. And basically throughout the day on this Battle of the Boneyard, it'll be a tournament style. So they'll go through, they'll play their game, and then they'll have a championship at the end of the day. So before I talk about the implications for Nebraska recruiting, I just want to give you a glimpse of which players will be on campus. Who's going to actually be on campus in Nebraska, taking likely their first visit here? Well, let's just start off with SFE. So SFE is just a 7v7 team coming out of Florida. I just want to give you a glimpse of who's going to be on campus. Jabari Brady will be visiting, and he was going to be here anyways. This is somebody who is a current Nebraska recruit. The Huskers are likely to land him, 4-star wide receiver. He plays for SFE. You have Tristan Keys, who's one of the best wide receivers in America. He's expected to be on campus for this. Again, he's a 5-star recruit in Nebraska. They had a chance here early on, obviously committed to LSU. We'll see if Nebraska can sway things. Again, we'll talk about this as the video progresses. You got Neiman Lawrence, who's the quarterback for SFE, who's a 2028 recruit. So very in a long time, but he is arguably right now the #1 quarterback in this class. He will be visiting Nebraska for the first time. That's a very significant development. And you know who's also going to meet with him during this? Matt Rhule. And then one more on SFE, or 2 more actually. You got Kenton Dobson, who's a really, really good corner in the class of 27, committed to Miami. And then you got Brody Jennings, who's a really, really good corner in the class of 26, committed to Miami, or excuse me, committed to Michigan. So that's just one team alone. Look at all those really high-quality prospects. And again, they have about, let's say, 20 players in every single 7v7 team. All of them are pretty much 4 stars, if not 5 stars. So that's SFE. Miami Raw is another team that's going to be in town. They have Jordan Clay, somebody Nebraska's been trying to get on an official visit. They have Darrell Bell, Nebraska's been trying to flip from Florida State for some time now. They have Zayden Gamble, who's a guy in the 2027 class who might be a 5-star prospect at safety the Huskers really like. That's another team. All of those prospects will be in Lincoln for this weekend. And then last but not least, let's go to the California Power team. They got Duve Williams in the 27 class, who's a 5-star prospect Nebraska really, really wants. He'll be in town. You got Vance Spafford in the 26 class, who's committed to Georgia, who's a top 100 player. He'll be in town. You got Mark Bowman, who in the 26 class, he's a 5-star tight end. He's likely to visit for this. And then last but not least, you got Trey Taylor, who's going to be there, not for California Power, but for another team. So I saw that say this. I wanted to give you a glimpse of all the players that are going to be on campus, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg. There's going to be so many more. There's going to be 5 stars that I didn't mention who are going to show up. Now, this isn't necessarily a recruiting weekend for Nebraska. They're not going to be, visiting campus really. They're not going to be checking out the facilities, at least not yet. But Nebraska is going to act like this is a recruiting weekend. That's the importance of all of this. You have a bunch of 5-star prospects who will be visiting Nebraska, who will be checking out Memorial Stadium, who will likely be meeting with the coaching staff. And Matt Rhule is probably going to come up to them. He's going to say, hey, are you liking what you're seeing? Are you liking Nebraska? Are you liking the vibes here? And a lot of these guys are going to get an initial impression. They're going to say, oh, wow, Nebraska isn't like what I thought. I thought this was a cornfield. This is actually really, really cool. And they're going to set up official visits, whether they're 26 guys, 27 guys. This is going to be a monumental recruiting weekend. So just to put this into perspective for you, let's go back to Jordan Clay. Okay, this is somebody who Nebraska really wants in the class of 26. Nebraska, before this event, they probably weren't in his top 3 or top 4 to get an official visit. But by him taking this inadvertent visit for something else, which is 7v7, he might say, wow, I actually like Nebraska. I wasn't giving it enough justice. I'm going to take an official visit now. Okay, so while this isn't a real recruiting visit for Nebraska for Jordan Clay, he might say, okay, wow, now I'm actually interested in the Huskers because of going to Lincoln, seeing this firsthand. It's basically like a recruiting weekend. Nebraska's getting a free opportunity to recruit a bunch of 5-stars who wouldn't be visiting Nebraska otherwise. It's so incredibly important, and honestly, it's a steal. I don't know why we didn't do this sooner. So just to recap this, we're going to have multiple 5-stars on campus for the 26, 27, and 28 class for pretty much free. We didn't have to recruit them at all. They're just going to show up. And then Matt Rhule says, hey, welcome to Lincoln. I'm going to show you around a little bit. You guys should come back at another point. So again, it's a monumental thing. It's such a smart move by Nebraska. They'll be hosting this not only at Memorial Stadium, but in the practice facility. And you know what I also should mention? Trey Taylor's going to be there. Obviously, I think he's with his Chicago-based team. He's going to try to win this tournament, but he has said on social media multiple times, he's taking this as a business trip to peer recruit. So he's going to peer recruit some of these guys. He might peer recruit a guy like a Tristan Keys, who's a 5-star wide receiver. They say, hey, maybe you should come over here and play with me. He might peer recruit a guy like Mark Bowman. He might peer recruit a guy like Vance Spafford, who's committed to Georgia. He might recruit a DB in his own class, and Duve Williams is a 5-star. So not only is Matt Rhule going to be there trying to peer recruit, trying to say hi to these guys, but Trey Taylor's going to be there. We're also going to have a big official visiting weekend, so we're going to have multiple big-time players who are already on campus trying to peer recruit, who are already committed to the program. It's a huge event, guys. Like, get excited. Get really, really excited about this because this will be very significant for the Huskers. And then I also want to mention something that's also a huge camp coming up. I talked about this in an earlier video, but Nebraska will be hosting a transfer camp very soon here on June 19th. This will be, again, basically transfers who are D2, D3, NAIA. You got postgraduates from high school. So I know a lot of you guys are asking, when is Nebraska going to get a transfer running back? When are they going to potentially get a transfer defensive lineman? This is how we're going to find the hidden gem, is through this event on the 19th. We're going to get a bunch of D2 guys here who might have had 15 sacks but have been under-recruited. And if they ball out in this camp, we might extend them an offer and they might be on the team next year. So we have a lot of big camps coming up. It's a huge month of June. This is arguably the busiest month in college football, not during the season. It's June because there's a lot of recruiting going on, a lot of camps going on. We have a lot to talk about on the channel. I am fired up. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Hey, if you made this far in the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go at Rhule, and I'll see you in the next one.